We were expecting that you would be great today with your experience and your knowledge of living in those countries. And you just let the ball down.
As I'm walking up towards the judges, I realise that this is going to be a pretty bad day. I am hoping that my wontons and spring rolls are going to kind of get me through.
Brett, run us through your 4 dishes.
My dishes were some stir-fried bok choy with soy sauce and toasted sesame seeds, pork wontons and prawn spring rolls, barbecued pork, tofu, marinated in sesame oil and soy sauce with some toasted sesame.
Is this 1 dish or 2 dishes?
That's actually 2 dishes.
The brief was 4 dishes.
Yes, that's correct.
So is that 1 dish or 2 dishes?
1 dish.
And the soup?
And the soup is a prawn dumpling soup. In China, I know that a lot of times they serve a whole prawn like that because they like to suck the juice out of the head. There is only 1 there. I needed the rest for my spring rolls.
I think the soup is possibly one of the worst soups I've ever tried.
I know, I didn't want to serve it.
And, you know, when you had a backup plan, when you actually had an extra dish on the plate, you could have quite easily got away with that, dispensing with that.
I agree.
The pork is actually a pleasant surprise to me. I think it's burnt on the outside. However, it's tender and it's flavoursome. The tofu I don't really get, and the spring roll is a tad on the pedestrian side. The highlight definitely for me is probably your bok choy and great wontons.
Thank you.
Brett, you've eaten in the noodle shops in Hong Kong and Central, of course. What's the most important thing about the soup that they pride themselves on?
Just that it's a clean, clear taste.
The stock.
The stock, of course. I tried to do something without a key ingredient that I needed, but it just didn't work today, and I shouldn't have served it. I knew that.
It tastes like gruff, grim old,
quite bitter
packet beef stock. Not great soup, OK? Nice wonton. Not too bad spring roll.
OK.
But I have to say, not making sure you have 2 of the most basic ingredients in Chinese cookery. I mean, am I rubbing this in too much?
Oh, you know, man, I've been battling with it the whole time as well, Ray. You know, it was just ridiculous. I mean, I must eat ginger and garlic nearly every day.
I have to say, I'm really disappointed. This doesn't taste like Chinese food for that very reason. It's like trying to paint and somebody taking away your blue and your red.
Yeah,
and you know that. You know, things like the char siu pork, the barbecue pork, when it was in the oven, did you think to marinate it again? To brush it again, to build up the glaze. I want mahogany-coloured and glossy and all those things you see hanging up in the barbecue shops in Hong Kong. And I would have thought you'd picked those sort of delicate sort of subtleties up in the past. So I'm afraid I'm really disappointed.
OK, thank you. I could see it in their eyes that it was not a good day. I'm pretty convinced that I'm in big trouble. Walk outside, grab my telephone and ring home. Talk to my wife and talk to my son, explain to my son that, you know, didn't have a very good day and that I'd probably be home tomorrow. And I'm pretty convinced that I'm in big trouble. I haven't done very well today. I'll be on the chopping block for sure.
I feel pretty bad the way I performed. I've got a feeling I'm going to be kicked out. So I'm not feeling very confident, but put on a steely face and, yeah, I'm pretty certain I'm going home.
It used to be that some great dishes would go up and some bad ones would go up. Now I think we're at a point where there's a lot of good dishes going up, and not bad isn't going to cut it.
Hi, everyone. Well, we certainly had an interesting array of dishes today. Your brief was to cook 4 colourful Chinese dishes to create a lovely Chinese meal. Whether they were authentically Chinese is highly debatable, and regrettably, whether they formed a meal or not is also debatable.
But we've got a clear-cut winner, but sadly, we'll be saying zhazhan to one cook who just hasn't made the grade. That's goodbye in Chinese.
It's quite strange because we were 12, now we're 7, and we're very shortly about to become 6.
Karen and Kirsty, can you please step forward?
Kirsty, you had lovely tender pork, the lemon chicken was fantastic, and you had the best carved carrot garnish. Well done.
Thank you.
Karen, you kept it simple, the flavours were bright and fresh. The meat was tender and the eggs were delicious.
Thank you.
You've never cooked Chinese before today, but you're obviously a quick learner. Well done.
Thank you, Simon.
Karen, you cooked the second best meal of the day.
Thank you.
But Kirsty, you cooked the meal of the day.
Thank you. I didn't expect to win the challenge because there were a couple of comments, no, that the chicken foot wasn't on par. And yeah, no, it was a really, really nice surprise.
As a result, you'll both be team leaders in the next round.
Oh, but she's good, it's proven.
Whether this is a reward, an advantage, or a huge disadvantage or not is yet to be discerned. Last time this happened with Nigel, it was his prize and he went home off that.
Kirsty, because you cooked the best dish of the day, you get to choose your team members first.
Okay, thank you. So the prize, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because, you know, it's your chance to shine, but it can also be your ticket out of here.
Steve, Mark and Sue, please step forward.
Mark, great dim sum. I like the wontons and the gaoji, beautifully cooked.
Steve, loved your soup. Really fantastic. Will it be on the first restaurant menu?
Could be.
I can't see you in a Chinese restaurant somehow.
Sue, I loved the use of the vegetables in your beef dish. It showed you had a really good sort of feeling towards what Chinese food should be like.
I appreciated what they said, and so I hope I can do justice to their comments and keep on going.
So all three of you had some weaknesses, but some very high points, and you're all good enough to go through to the next round. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this is a huge goal of mine to make it to the top 6. I've achieved that now, so I've got to reset my target to winning it. That's the next challenge now. Win the whole kit and caboodle.
I'm so relieved, completely and utterly relieved. It's amazing. Come this far now, it's been fantastic, and I really want to go all the way.
When Rob and I know we're the last two standing there, we both kind of thought it was going to happen anyway, but, you know, he's pretty cool, calm and collected, so I think I just tried to be the same.
Brett and Rob, comes down to you two. Both of you cooked disappointing dishes.
Rob and Brett standing up there, the last two. I'm thinking I wouldn't like to be in their shoes.
I will admit, I had a bit of a chuckle to myself. Brett's lived in Hong Kong and he made a beautiful Asian dish for his audition, and me, I've made attempts at stir fry but never done Chinese cuisine before, and I was in the top 2 and he was in the bottom 2.
Brett, the soup was inedible. You know, here's a guy who's lived in Hong Kong, spent a lot of time in Asia. He goes into the pantry and he forgets ginger and garlic, you know? We were expecting that you would be great today with your experience and your knowledge of living in those countries. And you just let the ball down.
I've been in the bottom 4 once and now in the bottom 2, and it's not a good feeling. Other people are going like that, and at the moment I seem to be going like that.
Rob. Yeah, I guess it feels like that, huh?
Pretty appalling.
That soup, one mouthful, yeah, maybe. You'd go, wow, this is rich and intense, but I've had enough. You couldn't eat a bowl of it. Chicken's feet. You know what chicken's feet are supposed to taste like? You've eaten chicken's feet, right?
Pretty big gamble.
I was up there saying, do you think you're going to get chicken's feet done in time? They went on to cook way too late. Your tenderising method really didn't work. You put it in your mouth, it was, you know, like a chewy mess. Any flavour that had was burnt.
The chicken feet was a big gamble, so I thought I'd give it a go. It didn't pay off, but, you know, it's, you got to try these things once.
Neither of you were up to scratch today. We all have our off days, but at this level, they come at a cost. sadly, only one of you can make it through.
I'm definitely feeling this me because I've cooked poorly and wouldn't normally cook to those standards.
And it'll be really disappointing to go home without producing something that was at least half decent.
Brett, only by the slimmest margin and a good bok choy, you're still here and through to the next round.
I am happy with that I am still here. This is quite tormenting in a way, and you know, it's a funny thing because you kind of have your highs and you have your lows, so you've just got to find a pretty nice balance and try and keep calm.
Rob, I'm sorry. You didn't do enough today to keep your place in the competition.
Shocker. I know I speak for all of us when I say we'll be really, really sorry to see you go. You've given us some great food. The scallops on fennel puree especially will stick with me. I don't doubt that your culinary adventure will continue to grow. Just practice, practice, practice. Rob, it's time for you to leave the MasterChef kitchen.
If I had the opportunity, if I turned back time, I'd probably still take the chicken feet again and cook them properly, cook them better. Maybe I'll try it when I get home. I really did want to have this title. I really wanted to do very, very well, and you know, I've done reasonably well to get to, you know, number 7. It's been a real wild journey, and it's been great.